Yeah, hello.
Yes, there it is.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for attending. So basically, I'm a PhD student and I have a fantastic supervisor, Dr. Brenda Parker, and also Professor Marcus Cruz. And I'm at UCL doing biointegrated design, PhD at UCL London. And my research title is called The Critical Posthuman Carapace, Constructing Exoskeletal Hybrid Living Systems. So basically, in a nutshell, I'm working with creating bioregenerative architectural devices as encasements, a second kind of layering to the body, responding to existential risk to anthropogenic climate change. So what I've started with my PhD, I've started looking at life support systems that are pertinent in space, working with algae, working also looking at the environmentally controlled life support systems, the ECLSS with Melissa, the microecological life support system with the European Space Agency, and also biosurf technology in Boulder, which then payloads to space. So what I'm going to talk about today, I'm not going to talk about all my research. I'm going to just talk about a section of the research, which is really pertinent to what I'm doing. Oh, 1 second. So over the years, I've worked for many magazines and campaigns around the world, and I made people believe and buy into a fantasy lifestyle aesthetic, photographing for many magazines such as Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, and other companies like worldwide. This led me to create more artistic images as well as having many exhibitions around the world. In addition to the artworks, I've created film poster campaigns for many blockbuster films. And these images are made up of many different images as one. It's not just one image, there's quite a lot there. So the artistic images, they led me to have many books with Thames and Hudson, traveling around the world, working with top designers, celebrities. I worked with Amy Winehouse, lots of fantastic celebrities over the year. So what we're going to ask ourselves, what is a photographic regenerative interface? So images are being constantly manipulated, repurposed, and fed to us humans, making us believe that the image is the potential to see something which is an extension to their imagination. We can consider a photographic regenerative interface is an image that can be used for any other purpose. So have you thought of how many millions of images you have and you've taken that you are unseen, that on your hard drives or on your iPhones? What happens to all these images? So the saying, when you die, you literally see your life passing and flashing by. All your life is stored in your photographic memory. The flashbacks you have, the beautiful and ugly times, the birth of your new baby, your first kiss, the happiness and the sadness. It's all in our photographic memory. We might consider the storage is not of a 64 gigabyte memory card, it's of a whole lifetime. So technology and science is pertinent here. You know, it's developed with multiple ways that we can use photography and imaging to understand diseases, pathogens from microscopic imaging to biological imaging and endoscopy. A friend of mine who's a doctor recently told me the reason why robots are used more often in surgery, he said the hand of the robot with a scalpel can get an accuracy of 1/10 of a millimeter, if not more, allowing for sometimes more accuracy than a human hand. This is very pertinent in many prostatectomies. Photography in this century has become fundamental and a necessary part of our everyday lives, in which we now actually see as objective viewpoint in the universe. So what happens? There's my picture of Cillian Murphy. Our eye photographs the symbol, our mind visualizes the process, and our image, our body and being, memory and vocabulary become the interface to relay the message to others. So in future, photography will become more than a tool. It will allow us to replicate and regenerate. I predict how the line drawing was to the architect and the pen to the writer. The camera will be the new pen in creating a mechanistic device for designing the world and discovering the universe. We will now look at some of the potential novel applications of imagery and some of my predictions. So here's a few provocations and some things are actually happening now. So number one, augmented mind image. Your mind sees the image and will be able to transfer what you see onto a digital screen by photoreceptors. Autonomous intelligent photoreparative systems. systems that automatically repair and construct injuries, human body damaged tissue with a combination of robots and technology using 3D print and fractal software to mend and repair human tissue via photographic methods. This is already beginning to happen. Architectural design through photographic methods. Photographic cosmetography. So we can think about skin repair, human photographic cosmetic surgery in the future, where the camera is used as a tool to aestheticize the human face, to create a new layer of skin, to replace older skin with the new epidermis for life. Phototrophic designs, using the camera to reconstruct parts of plants, newer trees, barks, imagining the existing examples and biogenically creating them via image regeneration, novel designs. Quantum computing is going to allow lots of this kind of things. And there's so many different things with plant tissues. You know, before in in 1902, there was something called cell totiponcy, which was also about stomatic cells and how to redevelop these as well. Biological photo systems, that technologies, you know, what I think as well, like human progression through images. I mean, how many of your friends are always saying to you, oh, look at my baby, and it's a picture from the baby in the womb. So let's predict what happens. The photographic image will regenerate the body capacity through diet and predictive technologies. Everyone I know shows me that picture of the baby. What if you could see what that baby is going to turn out to be like? And I think these are the things that are happening. Not that I'm fully behind it, but these are the things that people are working on right now. Adaptive optics. This is quite interesting as well, like getting deeper into looking into living organisms, using light-based regenerative systems, multi-photon microscopy with adaptive optics can also make it easier to study the brain. You see the images directly through the skull, allowing you to access deep brain imagery. A very important thing for my research is what's happening now. We have hyperspectral imaging futures, and it'd be really good for, you know, like what we're doing here with, you know, the BioLadies Network, imaging that collects information from the electromagnetic spectrum, obtaining, you know, like each pixel in the image of the scene, identifying the planets, the materials and processing. The imaging is pertinent for planet Earth, as well as we venture to the moon and Mars in 2024. So photographic regeneration will be a big industry, and it's already beginning to be. It's not been labeled as such. Maybe us humans, we're still scared to say, oh, a mere photograph could be so important to our everyday lives and also to science. You know, like obviously when in the 19th century, when photography had an objective viewpoint in the world, people were saying, oh, this new technological device, well, it's furthering and furthering and furthering more now. So the image in our mind today, and our mind is in our experience, whether it's an event or a happening, cannot be unseen. It will stay in our minds forever. The future will be achieved through imagery. I'd like to thank my supervisors, Professor Marcus Cruz and Dr. Brenda Parker, where I'm doing my research into various different types of photo regenerative interfaces and also exoskeletal hybrid living systems. Thank you very much.